Alrighty, yeah, we're live. Welcome to Legacy of Tyr Warfighter Tribe Radio. This is episode 1. And this is one of your hosts, Jordan Shepard.
And hey, this is Carrie. I am the founder of Legacy of Tyr. We had some intro music, but we were having some technical issues, so sorry about the delay entry here. And I'm also here with another council member, Chaz.
Hey guys, how's it going? How's it going?
First and foremost, very important announcement to make. Jordan, I got word today that you and Drew have been voted in and approved as both full members of Legacy of Tyr. So congratulations.
That is fantastic. Actually, glad to hear.
Congratulations. Yep.
So one of the topics we wanted to talk about tonight, being this is our first stream and everything, was the origin of Legacy of Tyr.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to, I'd say 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I had moved back from Canada. I got out of the military in 2007. Lived in Canada for a few years and then moved back here as of 2012. And as a heathen and a veteran, like, I felt alone. It was like I was searching for a companionship and this camaraderie that I definitely was not finding in the bars around Hampton Roads. I wanted something more moving, more spiritual. So I decided to dip my fingers back into the heathen community. And I just did not see anything that I found was a very good fit. So I decided one day, well, why not start something new? Why not surround myself with, people who have served just like me and create a community, a heathen community just for military veterans and first responders. So flash forward to now, here we are.
Yeah, it's really good to hear that because as someone who's in the military and got out, it is really hard to find a group that you fit in with afterwards. And I feel like it is really important for veterans, especially heathens, since there's so few of us in general, to find that community and brotherhood that we've had before and to have something to go back to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I started my civilian transition, my civilian life in a foreign country. And I mean, yeah, it was Canada, but it's still a completely different culture of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my own up in Toronto, one of the biggest cities in North America. And I met some great people, made some long lasting friendships, found a really good kindred up there, I belonged to for a while. And I guess they disbanded before I moved.
Mm-hmm.
Odensvolk up there in Ontario. And it's like when I got back to the States, I just felt like, again, I'm back on home soil and I'm like wandering around like a clueless kid, So I also felt that there weren't very many options for people in the heathen community. And we needed something that revolved around our culture, like warrior culture, military culture,
Mm-hmm.
Not just a group of military people, but like something that is built just for us. And I couldn't find anything that existed in Virginia. So, here we are. I mean, I feel like independent heathenry is important. Even though we have a vast growth of new heathens that are coming to the faith, a lot of them coming out of the military, we're still a minority religion. And there's not a lot of options out there for people. There really isn't.
That's definitely not. So, Chaz, how did you end up finding Legacy of Tyr? And what brought you into the group?
So, for me, like, I was just like everybody else. All the other, like, Abrahamic faiths and stuff like that didn't really sit with me anymore. And so I found heathenry, and once I found heathenry, I was just like searching around the web and trying to find people and local kindreds and stuff. I actually found Legacy of Tyr. Legacy of Tyr was one of the first things that I found, but I was in between like workups and going and coming back and forth, and then but I didn't act upon Legacy of Tyr until a few years later. But one day I think I contacted Carrie one day, and I went to like a pub mood at somebody's house, and then I haven't left. So that's pretty much me. Like I was just trying to find the missing link, you know. And with the heathen religions, you need a tribe, you need a community to base yourself off of. It's so hard being a solo practitioner. And once I found Legacy of Tyr, I don't see myself leaving ever. So it's an amazing group, and I love being here. So
yeah,
pretty much it.
Feel the same way.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, you see it in the veteran community, you know, the warfighter community, that the bonds of brotherhood are an important thing. That is like one of the fundamental things that's instilled in us while we serve in the military is, you know, is brotherhood and looking out for each other. And the angle that I hope that we can push towards is, you know, once we get our 501c3 status, which, by the way, we do have a GoFundMe up. You can find the link at www.legacyoftyr.com. We're trying to raise funds for our filing fees for 501c3. And we actually want to start helping not just the heathen community, but the veteran community, the military community, you know, across the board. And we got a few ideas that we've been, you know, cooking up, you know, to start working towards that goal. But we need donors, you know, to help us out, to give us that push forward, so that we can start doing what we need to do to, you know, provide for our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and I think giving back in our faith especially is really big for the veteran community, especially since we're more of a warfighter based faith in general.
I agree, but I think like it's not just that. Like, you know, again, the veteran community and the heathen community are two different, very, very independent, different cultures from, you know, Joe Public. And even if we help non-Asatru based veteran groups, people remember that. People look at us and be like, wow, these guys aren't so bad. And, you know, it's like every time, you know, something happens in the news and it's, you know, anything about heathens, it's usually bad stuff. You know, so we kind of want to create, you know, the good public image for us.
And really bring people into the faith on a good note.
Well, not just that, but just, you know, build bridges. I mean, even, you know, even if it's, like I said, a non-heathen group, if they're veterans and they're for veterans, I mean, we should be helping them as well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, quid pro quo, give for a gift. And I'm really happy, you know, that we've gotten to the point that we are at. I mean, our gatherings are getting bigger. Our pub moots are getting more frequent. I mean, we have literally a chapter in Northern Virginia, as well as Hampton Roads. And then now we're breaking ground here in North Carolina here soon. You know, we're building some ties and some connections, and I'm really excited for what the new year is going to bring.
Yeah, I've noticed just since I've joined, the group has really has grown quite a bit, especially with the moots. We've been having definitely more frequently.
Yeah, so what did you guys do tonight? I know there was a moot tonight, but there was also something else you guys did.
Yeah, we did some axe throwing. That was a great time. I went down to the tribal axe range down in Virginia Beach, and we all got together, threw some axes, had a good time, and then afterwards we went to the little veterans brewery, or the young veterans brewery, excuse me, down the road, and we had some beers, and it was a really fun time. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Did we get any new people show up?
We did actually. We have someone that's actually interested in joining the tribe, so that was pretty exciting.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have grown so much. I remember it was just me and Mike Ashby sitting at the Tide Mill Cafe, just shooting ideas off of each other, and then now we have like so many people. I have to make so many trips up to Virginia and try to meet everybody, and I will be in the
Yeah.
next few months here.
Oh yeah, excited for next few months coming up here. We got a bunch of activities.
Yeah, didn't they do the wine tasting and archery event yet?
I do believe that has already happened. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard that was fun too.
Yep. That was up in Northern Virginia.
Wow, I wish I could have been
Yep.
there. I'm here in
Me
North
too.
Carolina.
Should have a chapter.
So
We have that chapter starting out there soon though, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
yeah, it's growing up there, and I'm, Chuck is doing such a good job up there. And of course Ryan is bending over backwards,
Yeah.
doing a lot for us. So a shout out to those guys for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to have them under our banner. Um, which brings me to the next topic is the community in general. Um, I kind of wanted to save this for a different episode, but community building and some of the elements that I've seen in the community that's kind of shifted the community as a whole. Um, some of these groups out there, and I'm not, bashing anybody, but it just seems like there seems to be a very toxic element these days, to the community in general. And I, we're an apolitical group, so
Mm-hmm.
we try to stay that way. And I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on, the community in general,
Uh,
and some of the things that have been going on.
I mean, definitely heathenry since it's like really starting to reemerge now. I mean, we're seeing a lot of people coming in, interpreting it in a ton of different ways. So I really feel like it's going through its infancy stages of like just everyone trying to come in and no one really having the full grasp of what it's about. So people try to manipulate it into what they want to see it as, and it's really creating a toxic atmosphere, like you said, around heathenry as
Yep.
a whole.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't find a group and something isn't sitting well with you, I mean, pull chalks and roll.
Hmm.
Start your own thing, start your own network. And I cannot stress enough the importance of independent heathenry.
Oh yes.
Um, I mean, it takes longer to build, and of course, the national organizations and the bigger organizations are going to have more people. But all you need is like two or three really good people to surround yourself with and grow from there.
Oh, definitely. Like
Yep.
I was solo practicing before I found Legacy of Tyr. I mean, it was okay, and then you finally find that group that clicks, and like you go. I went to the pub moot and I found you guys. And I just felt so accepted, and it was a pretty great like experience. I actually have other people to be with. So like solo practicing is very practical, but at the same time, heathenry is like a group effort overall and like a tribe thing. So it is important to find another group or to find a group you really connect with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
humans are not meant to be by themselves.
Exactly.
Not
We
at all.
are we are people that need a community. And it, Chaz, did you go up to Folkish Summer Halloween this year? Or no, you didn't make it.
I didn't get to. No, I wish I could have though. That was wonderful. I heard.
Yeah, we have a very good friend, kindred up there in Pennsylvania. They're very good friends of ours, the Ermin folk, and Saginario runs that organization up there, and he has
Mhm.
done so much for us. And they are
Yeah.
great people. They helped us design our flag. Um,
Yep. Yep.
and yeah, yeah, and this is like the bonds I was talking about earlier. Like, help each other out. You don't have to be friends or align with a group, and expect to take over them or absorb each other or
Mhm.
get into territorial disputes, which I've seen in the past. It's like, just work together.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to have the same exact beliefs in heathenry. You just be friendly to each other, help each other out. Like this is what this community is about.
Hmm.
You know, not infighting.
Yeah, we definitely don't need fighting in such a small community because that creates even more toxicity in an already small community, which is just not needed nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Ulerfest coming up.
Yeah,
Jazz.
I see in the chat that Tony in the group put out, and he said the hipster neo pagans that shoehorn heathenry to fit their personal worldview on the left, which
Yeah.
is a big problem in heathenry nowadays. And Brawlhalla Viking wannabes is also a big issue because everyone just wants to go to Valhalla, but they don't want to put in time to learn about the religion and know that Valhalla isn't
Right.
the all dogs go to Valhalla kind of thing like heaven is.
Yeah.
I want to go to Folkvanger.
Yeah.
Freya's
I
my
want to
girl.
go to Yule. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
an
mean,
older guy, so
there's so much about the afterlife people don't understand. They're all just like, yeah, Valhalla, but at like the same time, even if you go to hell, it's like it's not a bad place. I mean, you're just with your
No.
ancestors. I mean, it's not bad at all. Like you just got to realize that there's so much more to the afterlife than just like a heaven or hell type of scenario like in Christianity.
You
yep.
know, that, and you brought up a good point. It's like nobody knows what happens after we expire.
Exactly.
And for sure. And nobody knows what the gods are going to do or say or think. And one thing that really just puts a run in my pantyhose is people who have this mentality that they know and feel and absolutely have authority over what the gods think or what the gods are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are you the Asatru Pope? Like, do the gods talk to you? Like,
That's a true pope.
the Asa Pope? You know,
Awesome,
like,
folks.
did Odin knock on your door and say, "Hey, you're not going to Valhalla, but your neighbor is"? Okay, like just humble thyself a little bit because like nobody has the authority to speak on behalf of the gods, you know. um
Mm-hmm.
and I've had to hold back in a few Asatru groups out there and just shake my head and be like, wow, you
Yeah.
know, the Valhalla debate. It's like, well, why are we so worried right now about the afterlife? You know, like what's going to happen after we die when we're not working on our stuff now
Exactly. You don't
to
even want to pick up the book and learn about it. Why are you worried now?
right, exactly. Like you're so worried about Valhalla when we have 9 virtues that
Mm-hmm.
y'all need to be you need to like really get in touch with here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's
um
this is definitely like as the wise Justin of Hampton Roads heathenry has once quoted to me. This is the religion of homework. You
uh-huh
gotta be willing to put in the work to read and actually learn about the religion since it was so like undocumented. You really gotta like read so much stuff to really get what's going on.
Yep.
yeah, and you got to read your history too,
Exactly. Yeah.
and most importantly see how far back you can trace your ancestors, because
Mhm.
a lot of what our ancient ancestors have done have been passed down through our family tree whether we realize it or not,
Mhm.
Yep.
you know. I mean, that's at least my 2 cents. I mean, I also have seen like this trend of SJW mentality that's kind of bled into our community, and I'm that it kind of angers me. Mostly because this is a religious community, and I understand that there are causes out there that a group might be passionate about, but when you encompass your entire existence um, fighting these social justice battles,
Yeah.
you know, and not being a religious group as you claim, then why are you calling yourself an Ostrich group? Why are you in this faith? You
Yeah. I
know,
mean,
why
you're
are
really putting
you?
the religion to the side at that point just to push
It's
an agenda.
Yep.
like,
When if
why are you can't be constantly out to destroy
yeah.
without building something in its place. Like
Mhm.
you can't you can't just live off of empty space and destruction. And I feel that this is a very destructive element to our community as a whole. And I can't say that it hasn't, like, stepped on our doorstep a few times or rung our doorbell, and we've had to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of getting, dangerous. There are groups out there that, if they think if they think you're the slightest bit of folkish, that equates racist, and
Oh goodness, yeah. Like,
they are going to, infringe upon your existence there, your bubble, your
mm-hmm.
circle. And then you're like, whoa, what the hell? What's going on here? Who are these people?
Yeah, the attack on folkish and like the different types of heathenism in our community has really created toxicity among our community, I've noticed.
Oh,
When
absolutely.
people should really be able to, like, worship the way they want to, but people will always have issues with what other people do, unfortunately.
Yep.
I just don't understand what I mean, and I understand there's always going to be this element in every religion that makes said religion like look bad, and that goes back to what I said earlier. It's like, well, why don't you go do stuff to promote heathenry the way you seem fit,
Mm-hmm.
and build connections and do things in your community, and build your reputation, and stop worrying about somebody else's reputation.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, because I just think that we're so fragmented and broken. I'm not sure just how to build some bridges in some aspect if people are just so worried about what's going on over the fence. I mean, I'm happy we found the brotherhood, like, and that the brotherhood formed.
Yeah.
It's great having a circle of kindreds, to meet and work with, but it's like, outside of that, it's really sad. And the people who really suffer are the people that are searching.
Yeah, it's definitely the solo practitioners that suffer the most because they don't know what to make of each of these groups and like what group is good and what group is bad when there's so much bias in the community and what's going on.
Well, and when you have like leaders out there that want to get on these pedestals and keep drawing lines in the sand
Mm-hmm.
at other groups, and throwing fire their way, and that's what they do. It's like, at the end of the day, the only people that really suffer is their own members, because they're
Yeah.
like, well, why are we so focused on this? I thought this was about the gods. And then you get
Yeah.
these solo practitioners that step out of their bubble, and then they're like, oh, hell no, I'm going back home. And then we never see them in the community again, except
Mm.
maybe on
Yep.
Facebook.
Yeah.
hmm That's just my 2 cents. So, Chaz, you
Yeah.
are an Ullers man. Tell me about your draw to your favorite deity there.
Well, talking about Uller, I have him out here with us. There he is. No, Uller. So I don't know. It's probably just that he's so mysterious. Like there's not that much information on him, but he's quiet, but he's loud at the same time. So like if you're drawn to him, he will talk, and he will. And what I mean talk, I don't mean like I sit here on my couch and have a full conversation with some dude with a big beard. I don't. It's not it's not what I mean. But no, what draws me to Uller is like he is this guy. He's quiet and he sits to himself, and when he's called upon, he's there. I'm a hunter, and I love archery, and I like the winter times, and I don't know, it just felt like a fit when I discovered Uller, and at first when I first came to heathenry, I didn't really I wasn't all down for like the whole patron god thing, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone's personality is a little different, and you kind of connect to someone who matches your personality through the gods. So Uller to me is a mimic of my personality in a sense. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm drawn to him just due to his mystery. I like him, and I can't wait for Ullerfest in November.
It's I don't know if you read it. It's in our files section in the group, but I did a paper on Uller. It was last year or the year before. And a lot of people don't know that Uller was an oath god too.
He is. Yep.
And they unearthed the tiny shrine of Uller. I think it was Sweden. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was in Sweden, and they found a bunch of oath rings around it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. I'm sure he was very important at one point in time, but the dang on ancestors didn't write anything down. So.
Well. I mean, in a way, they did, because look at some of the names of the towns in Sweden.
That's true. You got Uppsala and everything out there.
Yep. There's in Iceland. There's I don't know if it's a waterfall or a lake, but it's named after Uller. It's called Ullerfoss. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. So you guys excited about the new temple that's opening up in Iceland here? Hopefully this year.
Yeah.
It was supposed to open last year, but I believe they ran out of funds, so they had to postpone it. But I know it's back in construction now.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, they've been trying to build that thing for a couple of years.
Yeah, they've had issues with funding, but I believe it is back underway and it's scheduled to finish this year. I definitely plan on taking a vacation out there once it's finished. Definitely going to go out and see that.
Yeah, I had to put my trip to Iceland this year aside.
We should do a tribe field trip whenever it gets built.
You know, we that has come up in discussion, and I think that's an absolutely wonderful idea. You know, I think we should also visit Norway as well.
Oh, that'd be great.
You know, and speaking of deities, we chose Tyr, and that's kind of pretty explanatory. Like, he's the god of sacrifice. We kind of have an old running joke from our early days that Tyr is the first war amputee. You know, so we thought he would be a perfect fit to be the namesake of our tribe, and
definitely a good pick.
Yeah. I think that that was probably the best decision we ever made.
Yeah, Tyr definitely embodies what our tribe's about.
Well, yeah, I mean, it calls to the Warfighter community, you know, and everybody's service experience is different. And, you know, you guys are in the Navy, I was in the Air Force, but eventually I'm hoping to get, some of our local door kickers to join us, some of our infantry guys. And I want this to be the brotherhood that they've been searching for as far as heathenry goes. That's a cause that's very close to my heart, is creating that sort of community for them. My dad served in Vietnam, 2 Purple Hearts. He was in the Marines, and
oh dang,
yeah. So had Legacy of Tyr been around growing up, I'm pretty sure I could have talked to my dad into heathenry, and I think something about our community would have resonated with him.
Yeah, I mean, our community definitely resonates with anyone that's really a veteran. Like, we had someone at the move tonight that wasn't even particularly heathen. They were just, I mean, they were a veteran. They were on the fence about religion in general. But, I mean, I'm glad they were there, because it really does provide the brotherhood that anyone from the military is looking for.
Yeah, religion aside. I mean, we're fun people.
Even the moots that are open, come out and just have a beer, man.
We're fun people to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the more the merrier.
That's what I say, and I'm glad if the person just wanted to meet other veterans. I mean, hey, welcome. That's what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Besides, we are hilarious to hang out with.
Oh, yeah. Definitely high level shenanigans going on.
Fire and ice, bro.
Fire and ice. Oh my gosh.
Tell the story, Chaz.
No,
Chaz, story time.
You got to, because I don't even remember everything. I was so drunk.
Welcome to the Legacy of Tyr story corner. Carrie, take it away.
So there we were. We had Yule down here in North Carolina. It was me, Ryan, and Chaz. And it was 17 degrees out that night. And we are huddled around this fire drinking. And Chaz gets on this thing where he's talking about, yeah, I'm loyal to this tribe. You want me to do anything? I will do anything for you, Carrie. And then I noticed, I'm like, Chaz, you're sitting too close to the fire. His pants we're getting like sparks on. Like, Chaz, your pants are on fire. He's like, I'm fire and ice, bro. I'm fire and ice. I'm like, well, you're about to,
Oh my
you're
goodness.
about to ignite.
You're about to be all fire.
Look,
Yeah.
so many bottles of mead were just gone that night. Okay, between 3 people. So
Is it
I
even a
was
legacy a tier event if there's not at least like 4 or 5 bottles of mead gone at the beginning?
One jar of moonshine.
Yeah, one jar of moon. Oh yeah, that was me last event. Oh lord.
that was good.
Oh yeah.
But we had so much fun, and I enjoy the memories that we're creating. We're not just a bunch of, very dry, um, grandma's living room flavored people.
Yeah.
We get a little rowdy.
I mean, we're all veterans. Everyone knows how that goes. Everyone knows that
Yeah.
the barrack style humor that goes on.
And
We
it
definitely have that.
yes, it does.
It is most definitely carried over.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's talk a little bit about like membership and how that whole process works. Like I just went through that, so I think it'd be a good thing to talk about for the community in general.
I am glad you brought that up. Basically, we have um, 2 or 3 different levels of membership.
Hmm.
Step one is to find us, of course, and
Yeah.
get to know us. And we will put, if you meet our qualifications, we'll put you in our outreach group.
Hmm.
We have that. We host that on Facebook, and public events and some gatherings are open
Yeah, like
to
moots.
everybody. Yeah, like moots, and I think we opened up Midsummer and Ostara up to the outreach group.
Those are definitely
Um,
good events to come to.
yeah, yeah, and so just show up, help out, get to know us and stuff,
Hmm.
and then if we feel that you're a really good fit and you're really interested and you really want this to grow and you're here for the long haul, or it seems like you are,
Hmm.
then we will put you um, we'll elevate you to prospect status. I can't think of the name that we're calling it. I'm sorry. Like, I have like bronchitis, so I kind of like have medication head going on right now. But and that basically is your probationary period. And from there, we move you to full member status after a vote. Um, Not every event that we have is going to be open to the public or open to the entire outreach group.
Hmm.
We do have council and member and only events um, that are deep with for our private circle. And to get to that level, it's like we have to really grow a trust with you, you know, um, and that's just really for the safety of our members. And we got people with security clearances and kids and stuff like that, so we're
Yeah.
very, very careful who we let into our circle, our
Yeah.
private circle. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
the name, I believe the name for the pledges is Varin and Varinar,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
means
Yes.
pledge
Thank
or
you.
beloved.
Yes.
Ryan just shouted that out to me.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Ryan.
you. I had a complete brain fart. Um, Ryan should hop into this call if he can,
Right.
He's definitely welcome if he wants to shoot me his Skype name real quick. I can add him if he
I
would like to join.
or he can.
know.
You can give him the Skype number too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's watching. I know he's watching.
Oh, he's most definitely watching.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah.
But
Do you have the number?
I do.
Cool.
I think we'll have to add him into the call though. Like he can call and then we can add him out. I remember we tested that last night. It was a little wonky.
Yeah. So, Chaz, you have a little one, and you are teaching her the ways of heathenry.
so all right. So I'm actually working on writing a thing about like like parents in heathenry and stuff like that, because
That's something I'm really interested in as well, because I plan on having kids eventually, and I definitely would like that to happen. But I've been so curious about how parents have been dealing with heathenry.
Yeah, so it's been a learning progress. So what's interesting with my family is I'm heathen, but my wife, she's atheist. So trying to find a balance. So I've agreed a long, long time ago that I wouldn't push religion, because I grew up in a non-religious house.
Yeah.
And neither did she. So, but I I, I will answer questions if questions are brought up. And my my little one, my daughter, she's very close to Freya. So every time I pull out my little Freya statue and I do a little bloat to Freya or whatever, she will either snatch the little statue up and take her on little adventures with her, or so it's a the more I'm writing on it, it's parenting and heathenry is a little difficult because kids have so many questions, and when they're 4 years old, it's hard to explain to them.
Oh yeah.
The concepts, yeah. I know Carrie has the same situation with Freya going on, her little one.
Well, she's not my little one. She's my boyfriend's little one.
Yeah.
And her mom isn't religious, so it's kind of, and her grandmother is Christian, so it's a little bit of, both worlds, and sometimes they clash a little bit. But I'll be cooking on the stove, and then I'll hear this little whisper, "Hi, Odin. Hi, Freya." And there she is, and she's leaving little like toys and stuff on the altar at Freya's feet. She like usually puts her Hello Kitty figurines up there, and
That's adorable.
And then we have the little statues, like the one you showed, like the Uller you showed. We have a Freya and an Odin. And she keeps that Freya like under her bed. She'll put it under her bed because she says it keeps nightmares away and stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
I know. When I first got into heathenry, I was with my fiance, and she's really taken to Freya as well. And it's funny because when she was kind of starting to lean towards heathenry as well, because she wasn't super religious either. Her baby sister was born, and she ended up getting named Freya, and I think that was really really the last straw for that. So she's definitely Freya's woman now.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I grew to be a Freya's woman through some pretty hard struggles that I had gone through. On the journey through not just relationships, but and I'll be upfront and open about it, is I was a victim of sexual assault. And the couple years following that, I mean, this was years ago, I was kind of leaning into heathenry anyways, and getting to know and get close to such a deity. I mean, I've always had an interest in magic and the occult and, stuff like that anyhow, which is what Freya is about. But like to have that in my life, it's like the goddess of, womanhood and fertility and stuff like that. It was very healing for me to get back on track with my womanhood, and, and not be afraid of the quote unquote, the patriarchy, and to find healing in surrounding myself with just male friends. Not like sex partners or whatever, but just male friends. And heathenry's actually, and Legacy of Tears actually helped me heal to some degree from that time.
Yeah.
So it's like I've learned to trust again, and I do feel like following the path of Freya has really opened up a lot of doors for me. And that goddess will forever be close to my heart, and I think that with the little one here, because she's big on cats anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so's mine. Yeah.
I never owned a cat until my fiance came along, and next thing you know, we got 5, and we have a Freya altar, and there's cats on it. So.
Yeah, we recently caved in and got a cat.
It's gonna happen eventually when you're with Freya. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the little one puts on kitty cat ears anyways, and Lar insists she's a cat. So
I mean,
with a
at that point,
given.
you might as well get a real one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's trying to beat down the door now. Meow. So what brought you to heathenry, Jordan?
Well, I was at a stage of my life where Christianity just it did nothing for me. I didn't feel anything for it. I had no emotion or compassion about it. So I pretty much just gave up on religion for a long time, and I was just kind of, at the point where religion was a thing, but I didn't really care about it. And I just had like these really strange dreams as like before I was going to boot camp, and then when I was there, they got even more severe of Odin reaching out to me, and it was just like constant, like every night thing. And once I finally graduated boot camp, it hit a point where I finally had access to the internet and like literature again. So I started researching, and it was just a downhill from there. Like it was just I really just fell in love with heathenry and realized that it spoke to me, and that like the ancestors really reached out to me and just wanted me to be part of the religion.
I think it's calling to a lot of people.
It really is nowadays. There's a really big reawakening, and it's beautiful to see.
I have a
Yeah, it
theory.
is.
I have a theory behind that. I really do. I have a theory
Oh,
behind
let's
that.
hear it.
My theory is, and this goes back to what I said earlier about like there's been like this idea that the gods really don't care about what we're doing and have or nor have anything to do with us.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like maybe at some point from many generations or many years that may have been the case. But now look at the state of Europe right now.
That's true.
Oh
And
my God.
these are the gods of our ancestral homelands of Europe. And what's going on now, I feel absolutely does have their attention. Like, and I feel like this is where this grand awakening is coming from. I do feel like people, people in the military want something more warrior culture related, but this is bigger than just military heathenry. Like,
Hmm.
I really feel this awakening has a lot to do with the state of our ancestral home.
That's very true. The way it's
Yeah.
really declined, and it's like becoming kind of like a down point in the West. It
Yep.
definitely probably has them in a little bit of a more paying attention mood.
Yeah, I think like, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, well, Odin was, in my closet last night and we had this discussion, but I do think that there is a bigger thing going on out there, and it is guiding people and it is manifesting for people. People have come to me with dreams they've had, weird occurrences that they've had,
Hmm.
most recently, like, like an aspect of Thor manifested during somebody's gathering, when
Yep.
people were renewing their vows. So I mean, it's stuff like that that's like, sometimes coincidences are just way too in sync to be
Oh,
coincidences.
most definitely.
And I do
Yep.
believe that that the gods absolutely are trying to, reclaim what is left of their children, and bring us
Hmm.
home.
I agree.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Man, I just my family's from my European ancestry comes from Italy and Germany.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah,
state of Germany right now just makes me cry. It
yeah.
just
It's
makes me
horrible.
cry.
Germany's
I can't even read about it in the news. It just makes me cry.
Merkel's really done a taken a big step and taken Germany down just a really terrible path of economics, and just the EU
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
general. The EU is just not good anymore.
It's
No,
poison.
it's not.
It is. It is poisoning Europe.
I know it's
You gotta.
I'm not sure there's ever any bouncing back from it either, because the people are just so suppressed over there. I
Mhm.
just, yeah.
I mean, their
So
free speech is infringed upon nowadays as well, with being arrested over tweets and just things you can say. It's insane.
isn't that
Like
happening
Great
in the
Britain.
UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the UK, all of Europe basically, it's really their freedom of speech is really being infringed upon. And I really feel bad because they don't have the constitution or anything like that to protect them from it. So the government can pretty much just bend the rules of free speech to however they want. It's happening in Canada as well recently.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
started years ago. Like
Mhm.
years ago, there was a guy who, I think out in BC, he was pushing some white nationalist propaganda, and I believe he got hit with a hate crime. And
Mhm.
that made national news because it's like, well, is hate speech a hate crime? And yeah, the court said, yeah, it is. I was like, wow. That's why
Mhm.
Westboro Baptist Church got kicked out of Canada, banned from Canada.
Oh man.
The only thing wrong with the hate speech thing is that when it's left open to interpret by the government, they can do whatever they want. So now it could be against some white nationalist. So the next thing you know, it's against you, which is the big issue
Yep.
in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And
Us.
they're trying to push it here too, in
Mhm.
some aspect.
Oh yeah, definitely. But let's move on to the topic of you being a Gothi carry. How is being a Gothi, and what does it take to achieve that title in heathenry? Because I've only met, I
Um,
believe, two since I've been in heathenry, and it was you and Justin.
I don't like calling myself that. I really lack a lot of experience to
Mhm.
even have that title, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I just kind of took up the responsibility, um, because it's like, somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm learning more, growing more. Every day is like everybody else. I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means whatsoever.
Mhm.
Um, but it's both a challenge and rewarding. Um, because it's like every gathering, it's like, is this good enough? Is this going to move people, or is it just going to be mediocre? Are they going to walk away, um, with something spiritually, um, you know, after this, or is this just going to be, wow, I might as well just read it from a book. Um,
Mhm.
so it is a challenge in itself, and it's like, you know, you're taking up the role of a clergy, and there's a lot of responsibility, um, in that in itself. And I've been pagan for, gosh, I came out of the broom closet in 1999 as a Wiccan for a little while, and
Mhm.
I started the first Wiccan study group at Langley Air Force Base ever, back then. And some of the biggest lessons I've learned were from the military chaplains on how to be a spiritual leader.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to put your own ego aside,
Yeah.
um, and humble yourself and be open minded, and understand people are coming to you for guidance, and even if you don't know what to say, you just be there to listen. And people have a issue, with that part. It's like there are people out there that want to be the Gothi or the Vitki or whatever they want to title themselves, but it's
Mhm.
like their listening skills suck, and they just don't know how to humble themselves enough to understand or be compassionate or show some empathy. um, and the biggest thing that I have come to learn is compassion. At least show some element of compassion. um, I mean, I know what it's like to be in a situation to need somebody there and need compassion. So it's like I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes, but I'm not a counselor.
Mhm.
I do psychic readings for a living. Um, and people come to me with all kinds of problems, but when you're dealing with your own the community of your faith, it's a challenge, and it's a lot of expectations of you. Um, you know, you have to have an open door policy. You have to just try to understand people and their problems and be confidential. You can't just share people's personal stuff with the tribe. That can actually get you in trouble. If you're ordained, you can actually wind up getting sued. So it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding. It really is. And the more new faces that show up, and more people are like, wow, this really moved me, and this gathering is great. Thank you, Carrie. Like that's to me, I feel like I've accomplished something.
Oh
Is
yeah.
if my people are happy and they're being spiritually fed, I'm happy. Makes sense?
Yeah, like I came to the first gathering, and that was the first time I've ever done a ritual in a group like that, and that was just a great experience to have. As like a solo practitioner, finally finding a group that was definitely I felt definitely, as you said, spiritually fed. And
Oh,
like
I am so glad, because I totally winged that, and I had to shorten my original idea because all them trains were coming through.
yeah, that was you definitely did a great job with that. Then that was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Um, I'm gonna have I'm gonna try to make Chaz lead Uller-Fest.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yep.
He did a great presentation of the raid on Lindisfall, I believe. Was that what it's called?
Linden's Farm. Yep.
Linden's Farm, yeah. You did a great presentation on that, and
Thank you.
yeah, that was fantastic. Hearing the history behind it, and the point of view from the heathens, because you always see the
Yep.
Christian interpretation. So that was great.
Yep.
Yeah, told by our little Aryan poster child with the comb over.
Hey.
But yeah, you did an outstanding job, and so did Ashby with his presentation,
Oh
and
yeah,
Chuck,
this was
and
great.
Yeah, he did really good.
Oh yeah, his acting really came out there.
Yeah, he did.
And that's the stuff we're looking at, hopefully adding to like our events, is not just ritual feasting, but like the fire starter competition, and
that was fun.
the other stuff you guys did before I got there. And I liked seeing that, because it's like not just coming together as a religious group, but it's also building team dynamic.
Yeah, and I like the fire building because it's like our ancestors had to start fires and stuff like that by hand. It's just really a throwback to them as well, practicing survival and combat techniques and stuff like that as we do.
Didn't you win that?
I actually did not. I forgot who
Who
won
won
but
that?
I did not. If you go back and watch the
Michael.
video, yeah, Michael did. The Coastie,
Michael.
the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
The Coastie.
the Coast Guard guy.
My materials are wet. I'm calling a rematch.
Yeah.
Oh
We're
my
doing a
God.
rematch at Lindisfall. It's happening.
I can't believe we got that stuff cooked in that downpour.
I'm telling you, I'll hold an umbrella in the rain if it puts out meat. It's happening. It's gonna happen if it has something to do with food and me.
Yeah, for real.
We do make the best meals.
Oh yes,
Dude.
rained on hamburgers.
Yeah,
It's our specialty.
They're called Thor burgers. Get
Thor
it right.
burgers. Oh my gosh.
Thor burgers. I want a Thor burger. Why is my bread soggy? Because it's a Thor burger.
Because it's a Thor burger. Cooked by lightning. Calm down. Super fresh.
In the rain.
In the rain.
Thor burgers.
Burgers.
So what else did we have on the agenda tonight?
I do believe we still have. We want to talk about females in heathenry because that was a discussion recently in the group that we were having on Facebook. I wanted to bring that up as well because I believe that is an interesting topic because it is a rather masculine religion, even though that females, like culturally wise and spiritually wise, have had so much freedom in this religion, but I don't think it's realized, and the religion is seen as this very masculine thing. But women have had such a big part in it, and like with goddesses and everything, I think it's strange that there aren't more female heathens.
Yeah, we still have an all mother. Last time I checked.
Yeah, exactly. Like females have had so much like religion and or not religion, but religious freedom and just freedom in general when it comes to the ancestors and heathenry in general. I'm honestly surprised that it isn't more accepted among females and it's seen as more of a masculine thing.
Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. I mean, if you think about it, like Odin is the chieftain of the gods, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you have the queen of the Valkyries, Freya, rules over, Folkvanger, and she gets half of the slain, and, but Odin gave that to her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think that's why the masculine aspect is very at the forefront. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at the heathen community and some of the propaganda out there, I mean, a lot of it, the memes and the posts, it's Odin, Thor, Odin, Thor, Odin,
Yeah,
Thor.
that's true.
It's like I have, you don't see a lot of Freya posting. You don't see a lot of Frigga posting. You don't see a lot of Nerthus posting,
Mm-hmm.
if at all. So I think that's where the idea comes from, is this element of social media, and this idea that, like, this is, a boys only club.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I don't know if there's any other female leaders out there. I would like to get to know them, absolutely. And get more, and just see what other, just kind of project and put out there that, this is welcome to females.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, at the very least, think of the story of Iduna. She's the keeper of them apples, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
without them, I mean,
Yeah, there are
they
snippets
kind of,
into history.
yeah,
Yep.
like they kind of die, they shrivel up
Mm-hmm.
and die. So more their immortality is in the hands of a young maiden goddess. So I mean, and that's stuff that a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Hollywood might be part to blame to this too.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. You also got the story of Scaldi
Mm-hmm.
when the gods killed her father, and she alone by herself donned battle armor and weapons and marched to Asgard herself by herself to challenge all the gods to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and going back on Freya, when Iceland was being converted to Christianity, what the hardest god or goddess deity was to get rid of was Freya, because there's such a strong Freya cult amongst heathens back a long time ago, and
Mm-hmm.
Freya was such an important deity that the church had the most difficult time getting rid of Freya, because it was easy, because you can relate Odin to God, you can relate Balder to Jesus, you can relate all these other deities to everything else, but there was nothing to directly correlate with Freya.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the peasants of Iceland and a lot of the people out in the countryside, they couldn't. It was really hard for them to get rid of Freya. So it was they have their importance.
Most definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, women are the keepers of the hearth, man. You know,
Exactly.
and that does not translate to, oh, your job is to be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen all the time.
Yeah,
You
I hate when
know.
people try to translate it to that when it's like they're
Oh
the
my
keeper of
God.
the entire house. Like they make all the executive house decisions. And like not just the house, but like they control everything at the house as well, including their husband.
Yes.
I wouldn't say control. It is a
Well,
give
not
and take.
yeah,
It is, and I don't like that word control. I don't. It puts out the wrong idea.
true.
Um, I've been challenged by a few feminists over the years, about this, and you know, I had one a couple years ago. It was like, I found your. It was when we first started. I found your group, and I'm a bit confused. Like, you're a female, like, and you're leading all these military guys. So, like, are you like in control of the group? Like, I'm like, why are you using that word control? And she's like, well, I support you for just taking control of the patriarchy. And I'm like, I'm not taking control of anything.
I
I'm
said
not here to. This isn't about the patriarchy. Like, what are you smoking?
mm-hmm.
Then she called me a female misogynist.
Oh,
Oh my God.
that makes sense. That's
and
the
then
thing.
and then she said I had Stockholm syndrome from being in
Oh,
the military.
oh my goodness. People.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I brought up leader of the household, and Drew instantly brought up our discussion of fall decor recently, where she wants to decorate for fall decor, and I've declined because it is still summer. I feel like it's going to happen anyway now that I've said that she is the leader of the house.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
The leaves are changing.
When the first leaf hits the ground.
Hey, pumpkin
Pumpkin
spice
spice.
is out now. It is time.
Is that how we tell when it's fall now? Is when the pumpkin spice starts rolling out at Starbucks?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is out at the grocery. The pumpkin spice Cheerios are back on the shelves.
Oh, well, I guess it's time to decorate for fall since pumpkin spice is back. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna come home tomorrow and there's gonna be pumpkins everywhere.
It's gonna be some pumpkin pie Glade air fresheners.
Oh boy.
Oh
Already
boy.
in the house. Already in the house.
Chaz is already getting it. He already
Already.
has the fall.
We're gonna have to get you a car freshener of pumpkin spice.
Please do.
Please.
We'll be live streaming with our pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh yes.
Heck yeah. Get all basic.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna have to wear yoga pants.
Yep.
I like Kevin's shout out there. It says watching and listening on the beach in Thailand. That's
Nice.
That's pretty graceful. That's a good place to be listening to this too.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's inbound back to the U.S. at some point, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he says
we'll be able to
he
meet
says in
him.
a week or so. So we'll be able to hit him at the next gathering, or if we have a moot next month, we'll definitely be able to see him then. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yes, we recently had a moot at around Fort Bragg.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was
Yeah,
that looked like a fun time.
It was. It was a pretty interesting time, but the turnout was one person, but he represented a local kindred, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, he's definitely Army, and we're hoping to build some ties with those guys. You know, I'm looking forward to our next moot out there. You know, and we're also going to focus on Camp Lejeune. So if you're listening from Camp Lejeune, let us know where the good places are for to host a pub moot, and we'll make a schedule and see what we can put together out that way.
That sounds like it's gonna be great.
Well, my idea is also maybe choose a location that's the halfway point between Lejeune and Fort Bragg.
Mm-hmm. So you just have one big meeting. That'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely the area that we need to focus on. You know, those are two big military bases. So, I mean, here in Western Carolina, there really isn't anything.
That's true. I know. My friend out in California, it's actually joined the group recently. Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually he joined recently. He's really been into heathenry recently, and I've been helping him along the path to heathenry. And I thought it'd be great to bring him into the group. So it'd be cool to see us one day, go all the way out to California and have groups at every major military area in the state or in the country. I think that'd be really neat.
I think that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
to have an outreach that big would be fantastic and help the community that much.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to be the go-to guys for this stuff when it comes to the military. I'm trying to push out some literature and get that together for the bases and stuff.
That'd be fantastic.
We got some trifolds made. I gave them to Ryan.
Oh, sweet.
Up at Fort Bragg. I gotta print some more. And just some other stuff just to leave with the chaplains and stuff. And I was even thinking about, writing some letters and sending them to the chaplains, like, introducing, myself, this is what we do. This is our group. And, if you have anybody who's interested in Ostru, send them our way. I mean, since we just got recognition in the military for it. So.
Yeah, when we get more pamphlets, I'll definitely be able to. I can take them to the Net Warcom bases because I work around those, so get the intel community in on it.
Yeah, I can actually send you some. Just shoot me your address. I gotta get some more made. I'll just have them shipped to you.
Alrighty, sounds good.
And then you can just distribute them to the the next pub moot up there to people. Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty, well we've hit the hour mark. So, do you guys want to wrap up? Or you want to keep going?
It's up to you guys.
I'm good if y'all want to keep going.
I'm good to keep going as well.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, we'll go for another 30 minutes or so if we want to.
Yeah. What should we talk about next?
Let's see, we've covered all the things that I have, so it's open discussion at this point.
Okay.
Chaz, truth or dare? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, listen. Neither.
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 I'm just kidding.
No goodness.
Oh yeah,
my gosh.
I'd like to talk about first responders as well. I think we brought them up a lot this podcast.
Oh.
Completely forgot about those guys. There's
no.
the back home heroes.
Heck yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Coast Guard. I don't know, what are they? First responders now?
I think they stopped the motorboat from running in circles recently.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad they're helping those motorboats. That's good. Don't want those sentient motorboats running about.
Well, I mean, I can't make fun of them too much. It is Labor Day weekend.
True.
And, you know, Hampton Roads is on the coast, and there are dumb people doing dumb things on boats this
they're
weekend.
most definitely going to be busy this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. But first responders and law enforcement, absolutely. And this is, I'm going to start pushing probably some propaganda geared more towards, especially law enforcement. With the current political climate and certain things that are happening, the attitude towards law enforcement the past few years, and the violence towards law enforcement, and even other federal agencies that carry badges. I feel like the heathens in that community absolutely need our community.
Oh, they definitely need outreach and so people to basically just come to after events like this, because it is getting rough for like all the Leo out there, and first responders is most definitely becoming difficult for them.
Well, you got certain radical factions out there that are just targeting LEO and and their families. So this is definitely dangerous times for them, especially in the big cities.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like it's I really want to let them know, hey, if you're heathen, look us up, man. We got a great community. We back the blue, and we're all brothers in uniform here. So, if there's anything that we can do, or help, or just to have an ear to listen to, absolutely find us. We got some great reading material, great people to talk to. If anything, show up to one of our pub moots, just unwind, decompress, just have a good time with us.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty scary times indeed.
Oh, definitely. Definitely need this kind of brotherhood group to lean back on.
Yeah. I've never seen such hostility in towards like first responders and LEO in my 39 years of living as I have the past few years. I know there was a period of time it was getting hostile towards military people, but we already have our our bubbles. We have our safe falls, we have our bases, we have our stuff like that. But to be out in the streets every day, to serve and protect, and people are trying to kill you at the same time every day. Yeah, I absolutely feel they have a place at our table.
Most definitely.
Chaz, you got
my thoughts on it.
Chaz, you got a little Maraca action going on there?
Was that me?
It sounded like you.
Oh, I don't think so, unless my kid's hiding somewhere and I don't see her.
I heard someone going in there with a maraca.
Oh no, ain't nothing going on in here.
He's hiding a mariachi band.
He's got a mariachi band under the table.
Yeah, they're eager. They're eager to come out.
They're standing by.
Yep.
Will they play Freebird?
Mariachi Freebird, perfect.
That'd be sweet.
I've heard the one, it was a Doritos commercial, and they were playing, I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
Oh my goodness.
I thought that was the most hilarious thing ever. Hear a mariachi band play. So, are you guys mead makers as well?
I am.
No, not right now.
Oh, that sucks, Chaz.
I know we got quite a few mead makers in our tribe, though.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a growing art that I'm very happy to see. Even independent beer making too. I've been seeing that as a growing thing as well.
Oh yeah, beer making is really interesting.
Who's gonna make the pumpkin spice mead?
I'm actually about to start a batch right now. I could definitely look into that and see what I could do.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I will hands down make that and have it in time for the next meeting.
Oh my god, that's
gonna
be
have ready
epic.
for November.
Oh my god,
we'll have the pumpkin spice mead. Worry not.
That's amazing. I know that we have a batch that's ready to be bottled. I think I just threw some fruits in it. It's got like some blueberries and stuff. It wasn't ready for midsummer. So it's definitely ready to be bottled and brought up now.
Yeah.
I made mine after midsummer, and it turned out really. I made like a summer batch, did 2 months of fermentation. I did a first cycle and second cycle with fruit. I had like a strawberry summer mead, and it turned out pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Brewing's pretty therapeutic.
It is. It's fun.
I know a lot of people that I've just found that have gone back to brewing and fishing, and it's like they are just they're a lot more calmer. That's like their stress relief, you know. So I encourage people to pick those hobbies up for sure.
Oh yeah, I've been cooking recently, and I made some good food last night. It was very therapeutic to cook.
I love cooking. I like cooking for people.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, Chaz will tell you I'm like all about making food for people.
Yeah, we'll bring truckloads of food, and like at midsummer, like Ryan brought a crap ton of food. Like everyone brought so much food, and we're like, look, just get what you need or what you want and bring it. We already got everything. Here she comes with a trunk full of food.
Yeah, I think everyone came. I remember I provided a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
That's one thing at every event. There's lots of food and lots of alcohol.
Well, that's the Italian in me. Like I have to make sure everybody is fed. And like too much food is better than too little food. So it's like just feed everybody. Like I don't care. I don't care if you already brought food. I'm still bringing food. A lot of food.
Is there ever such thing as too much food at a heathen gathering though?
No. The bigger the feast, the better.
Thor burgers for the win.
Thor burgers.
Gosh, it sounds like a restaurant.
It does. It seems to be a thing.
This is gonna
Legacy of Tier Thor Burger Restaurant? Question mark?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you're trying to get that Thor burger.
If we get 5,000 likes and subscribes, we'll make Chaz eat a Thor burger. Soaked in the rain.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Chaz said like he'll do anything I tell him to.
Oh boy, Chaz,
whatever.
You signed up for something, boy.
Sign my life.
Thor burgers for the win.
Oh
yeah.
You guys ready to start wrapping it up?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna get back to work and
all right.
See if I can make some late night money here. Being Labor Day weekend, everybody wants a psychic reading.
And all the drunk phone calls.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining us. We're hoping to do this at least weekly or even bi-weekly. And we'll have, topics scheduled. Tonight was just kind of like a test run, kind of an open forum. And we have like a number that people can call in at too at some point, don't we?
Yeah, we're working on getting that set up right now. The call-in number. I'd also like to shout out the upcoming 2019 calendar
Okay.
that Ryan has mentioned recently. We want to get that put out there.
Yes.
So we definitely want everyone to know about the 2019 calendar. Make sure to find us on Facebook, and this will be going up on YouTube, and we've live streamed to our Facebook group. It'll be on both Facebook groups, so definitely check out the podcast. It'll definitely be weekly, mostly Saturday nights live stream, and it'll be posted by Sunday. So keep an eye out for all the upcoming content.
Yeah, and visit www.legacyofcheer.com. There's a link to our Facebook page. We are going to be making some updates to the site. We do have some merchandise that we are going to be putting together, and the proceeds will be going towards raising money for our 501c3. Anything left over will be going towards the outreach and, tribal events and stuff like that.
Alrighty. Chaz,
So
you got anything
thank you.
you trying to plug in there?
Nope. Just come check us out, and if we're in your area, please stop by and say hi, and that's it.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, good night, everybody, and thank you, Jordan,
night.
for hosting this.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm glad to be. Thanks for accepting me into the tribe, by the way. Really
Oh,
appreciate
not
that.
okay.
So does Drew.
Yeah, you and your girl are so fun to hang out with. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
like we had to push this through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're helping us out with this, and this is a huge step forward for us. To reach more people.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be a part of it as well.
Yeah. Well, good night, guys.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. See you.
Bye.
Bye.